Suzi-Amigurumi is a new technique of amigurumi that was developed to create a three-dimensional body without twisting. As the name suggests, we use single crochet back loop only instead of single crochet. A general amigurumi has a characteristic that the crocheted fabric is twisted as the rows are piled up. This is inevitable as long as you make amigurumi using single crochet. Because a single crochet stitch is made of a head and a leg, and when crocheting the next row, the thread is pulled out avoiding the leg. On the other hand, in the case of SCBLO, only one thread is picked up, so it is not affected by the foot. Therefore, if you crochet with SCBLO, you can crochet the next row without shifting the stitches. Suzi-Amigurumi is something that takes advantage of this property of SCBLO to make a solid without twisting. However, simply replacing single crochet with SCBLO is not enough for Suzi-Amigurumi. By combining several unique techniques, Suzi-Amigurumi is established. In this video, I will explain 3 basic techniques that are different from the general amigurumi. The first is the way of slip stitch. Usually, when you crochet a slip stitch, you put a hook in the first stitch and pull it out. On the other hand, in Suzi-Amigurumi, it is pulled out from the place where the chain stitch at the beginning and the first stitch overlap. This flattens the beginning chains and makes them less noticeable. The next technique is to increase or decrease the number of stitches. Usually, increments and decrements are distributed at specific points within the row. In this case, even if you try to arrange it, you cannot make it perfectly symmetrical. On the other hand, in Suzi-Amigurumi, you can increase or decrease the number of stitches symmetrically by combining increasing and decreasing stitches. This technique is useful for making delicate three-dimensional shapes and patterns. In addition to that, there is also an effect of making it difficult to make a gap. Because only one thread can be picked up in SCBLO, the crocheted fabric tends to stretch vertically. However, if you use the combination increasing and decreasing method, you can connect the stitches strongly because you use many decreasing stitches that extend over 2 stitches. Lastly, it is about how to close the end of crocheting. Usually, it is tightened by threading the string so that it picks up 2 strings of the head, but in Suzi-Amigurumi, it is threaded so that it picks up only 1 string of the head of the stitch. If you do this, the crocheted fabric of the last row will not rise and become flat. Let's use these techniques to crochet a basic sphere. Start with 6 single crochet stitches. When tightening the loop and crocheting the slip stitch, pull it out from where the chain stitch and the top of the single crochet overlap. The tip is not to pull the string too much when tightening the loop first. Use this crossing slip stitch when crocheting the slip stitch from now on. From the second row, crochet SCBLO. In the second row, crochet 2 SCBLO in each stitch. To show that it can be increased and decreased symmetrically, I will try crocheting by changing the color alternately. From the third row, use the combination increase and decrease method to increase the number of stitches. It may be confusing to look at the symbols, but this is a combination of single crochet, decrease, and single crochet. By crocheting in this way, the previous 2 stitches increase to 3 stitches. In the fourth row, increase the number of stitches in the same way. In this row, the previous 3 stitches are increased to 4 stitches. In the 5th and 6th rows, there is no increase or decrease. From the 7th row, decrease the number of stitches. This symbol is a combination of 3 decrements. In this way, you can decrease 4 stitches of the previous row to 3 stitches. While stuffing cotton little by little, decrease 3 stitches to 2 stitches in the 8th row. In the 9th row, 2 stitches are decreased to 1 stitch. In the end, put the thread through the top of the stitches and tighten it. Put the thread through once more, take it out from the appropriate place and cut it, and it is done. The fabric is smooth overall, including the beginning chains and the end of the crocheting. Also, it doesn't have much to do with it because it's a sphere, but it doesn't twist. That's all for the explanation of the basics of Suzi-Amigurumi. I will explain more advanced techniques next time. Specifically, how to merge another part into the main part. A method of combining 2 crocheted fabrics. Advanced color changing techniques. A method of decorating by passing a thread through the surface of a crocheted fabric. Etc. By making full use of these things, you will be able to shape as you wish. Thank you for your viewing.